Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. I don't know why I thought we were on random. I remember, like, I played a bunch of Isaac yesterday, recorded videos. The runs were scary, dude. Gmon, D-T-Y-R. Gmon, of course, the #1 Digimon from the 2000 season. I had a really good joke. Oh my god, I almost walked right into that champion's shot. That would have been a disaster. What was that joke? It's one of those, like, I was thinking about it in the shower, you know, thinking about Digimon while bathing myself, lathering up, as a millennial is wont to do. And then, it was something, it was like a sitcom combined with Digimon. It was like Everybody Loves Megalodoraemon. I don't know. I don't remember, like, any of the Digimon, dude. I'll just level with you. I was there. You know, I was there in 2000, or, you know, whenever it was, when Digimon came out. I feel like Digimon's one of those shows that probably came out in Japan, like, a couple of years before it came out in, North America. That seems fair. I have heard people say, I mean, in North America, you can't get over the idea that Digimon is essentially, it feels like a knockoff of Pokemon. But I have heard there's some people, you know, in my Twitch chat have been like, Digimon was a superior show to Pokemon. I don't know whether or not it's the case. I haven't watched either of them since I was about 10 years old. I will tell you a little anime story, though, because, I believe it or not, you know, when I was 11, 12, 13 years old, I wouldn't necessarily say I was into anime, but it was kind of like, you know, the start of that Toonami era, and then, you know, that was on American TV, but some of it filtered down into Canadian TV. To the extent, dude, I really wanted some HP, but whatever. To the extent that, you know, after Pokemon hit it big, you know, Dragon Ball Z started to get a little bit, like, an interest in Japanese culture and media started to rise for sure. So, you know, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z started to find their way on TV. I guess Sailor Moon was a little bit in advance of that, but I remember, you know, watching Sailor Moon at my grandparents' house, probably in like 1994. But then, the local, well, not local, but the national children's television network was like, check it out, kids. We bought the rights to the Japanese show people cannot stop talking about on angelfire.com. Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's got everything you could ever want. Japanese animation, robots, a banger of a theme song, action figures, etc., etc. I watched the first episode as a 12-year-old child, and I was like, what is happening? This is not... I feel like Neon Genesis Evangelion is not meant for a young audience. And I mean, I haven't seen it. You know, it doesn't come out on Netflix until this March. I'm looking forward to that. And I got a space in my life to maybe do that podcast now. However, and you know I'm going to take the D4. I was just taking a little peep first to see what we got going on here. But this little peep, he's a rapper, right? There's no way to say this without sounding kind of rude. Is he the one that died? I know it was Lil Peep, Lil Pump, Lil Xan, Tekashi 69, XXX Temptation. I can't keep them all straight in my head because there's, you know, previously, you gotta understand, I grew up in a time where there were two rappers, Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer. And it was one of them has MC in his name, and one of them has Vanilla in his name. It's not that difficult to keep them sorted, but now they all got nonsensical names with the, oh, that was so dumb. With the X's and the Z's and the numbers and the so-ons and the so-forths. Sure, we'll take Sack of Sacks. I mean, we broke even on this at the end of the day. It was just... And you know what? I actually do want to toss this bad boy down. We'll talk about that in a moment here. But yeah, you know, that was where I wouldn't say my love affair as a adolescent with the animated industry stopped. Yes, Tomo, you may leave the room. But it was where I kind of hit, like, I guess I hit a break. And was like, I don't know, this is for me for now. you know, I gotta end this for the giant fighting robots sort of situation, and now all of a sudden there's all this, you know, primordial ooze on the screen. I don't really understand what's happening, but I won't deny, it slaps. Okay, roll me. It's a terrible roll, but check it out. We got HP. And stud finder. Hold on. There's more HP. Oh no, there's more battery charges around. This is where my unique brand of Isaac related gameplay is gonna hook me up with greatness here, and I don't even think there's any question about it. I know how to manipulate the D4 to work out, you know, best for us. I'll tell you, I don't want to screw with this run, because this run is truly spectacular. What I will do is hope that this room contains some variety of red heart. If it doesn't, which it's, of course, well, never mind. I was going to say it's looking increasingly likely that it won't, but it actually contained a lot. I would really prefer not to re-roll this run. And at the end of the day, we don't need to get a payout from Judgment, Demon Judgment that is, in order to make this tick. So I don't think we should really sweat that too much. But if we can get a payout from the Demon Judgment, of course we would love to. The devil. What do you got for me? Mom's coined purse. Locked down. Full health. Found pills. Addicted. I mean, at the end of the day, we got a luck down for a full health. I would say that this probably considered a suboptimal deal. Life goes on. Gonna hit up this deal with the devil. You know, geez, man, it's real touchy. How much do I trust my walking skills? Enough to try. Ah, you son of a gun! Well, we're kind of stuck with it now. We never should have done that. I mean, that was extremely dumb. But again, I can't stress enough that, hey, get out of here. I got Bob's brain, dude. You're gonna get us both killed. I can't stress enough that, you know, having the extra... recording less Isaac episodes makes every episode get a little bit more of my attention as far as focusing on entertainment value goes. And, you know, we've definitely... You might think it's conscious. It's really unconscious. You know, the fact that every single run since that announcement, or whatever you'd like to call it, has turned into something a little bit, you know, delicate and tricky is really just... it's a surprise to me as well as to you, I suppose. Well, we really threaded the needle on that one. This run is very good. It just requires a little bit more finesse. And certainly, you know, HP is by far the most pressing concern right now. But, like, in terms of what we've actually got going on, we got some beautiful stuff. I'm just gonna ice them. Just, good lord, do not walk on any spikes. And then beyond that, keep in mind... If you get a lot of HP and somehow I mean, I guess there's no somehow. We're gonna get a deal with the devil anyway via Goathead. If you have the HP, it's definitely worth going back on the deal with the devil we did. And trading, you know, the Necronomicon for the D4 in reverse. Knowing we'll probably be hit in the process. I am going to open this. I expect we'll get more keys at some point, if not immediately. And, you know, if you're watching, there might be a backseat temptation here, and I like to call out the backseat temptation, not to be like, you know, you're wrong, I'm right, but just to illustrate, you know, my decision-making process. Why did I take the 1 hard deal instead of the 2 hard deal, knowing that the 2 hard deal is likely to be a substantially more transformative item, and in fact, could have even been the ability to fly, which would have allowed us to get the other item without having to walk on the spikes? Well, it's actually a little bit more simple. If the 1 hard deal does not force us to step on the spikes, or at least make it more likely we'll step on the spikes, i.e. if it's not a spacebar item, we basically get the 1 hard deal for free. Because we only pay 1 hard for the 2 hard deal if we go back and take that. So that's the methodology. It's you know, without being... without talking down, you know, it's basically... It's a pretty standard play/strategy. Nice. It just so happened that, you know, it definitely... I think it's the right idea in terms of theory, but when you actually do it, and it doesn't work out, you know, it puts you in a position to be like, why'd you do it that way, dummy? And, you know, if I'd seen the items, obviously I would have just said no to them. But we're not, unfortunately, able to go back in time and change that. So I was, you know, this is actually pretty solid. I was hoping maybe there would be a fortune teller, but after thinking about this for a few more seconds, I think, you know, there's a pretty likely scenario here where I end up getting an HP upgrade. A Spirit Heart is also fine, and we'll leverage that for a little bit of play here. And box is not what we're looking for. But can't deny that we did get something out of it. Alright, let's give it a shot. Now that we have HP, I feel a lot better about the whole situation. Wow, I didn't realize my reaction time was so good. As soon as I saw that thing spawn, I said to myself, let's, you know, use the Necronomicon. But apparently I saw through time and used it too early. Binky, that's HP. I love it. You know, Judas' Shadow, the D4, swap me. Give me that double damage. I don't really want to D4 myself. This floor ended up being surprisingly good. So we went, you know, delicate times, choppy waters, whitewater rafting situation. Made it out just fine. Feeling okay. Have you ever been whitewater rafting? I've not. I bring it up not because I think it's like a super common experience, but just because, you know, a surprising amount of whitewater rafting stories. Kate's got a whitewater rafting story from when she was younger. I think Bear was talking to me. He went whitewater rafting with his family. Bear's family seems very adventurous. I don't mean that, it sounds like I mean that as a backhanded compliment. I don't even mean adventurous, but I'm being very delicate with the way that I approach this because I don't want her to seem like a slight on my own family. Bear and his family, they're always going on adventures together. I think it's really cool. And he's, you know, one of the reasons that he has been not as settled as he would like, as I understand, in the Pacific Northwest, despite having the best climate on planet Earth, in my personal biased opinion, is that he's a little bit further away from his family. It's harder for him to get back there, and he doesn't see them as much as he would like. You know, it seems like they have a close family unit. I, on the other hand, I love my parents. I love spending time with my parents when I'm there or they're here. But I did move essentially as far as you could get away from them while still being in the same country. And that's not because I needed the space. It's because, you know, dang old Cupid's arrow struck me with somebody who lives across the country here. Just so happens to also be, you know, in my opinion, the most beautiful city in the country as well. And has access to a major airport, so I can get back to my parents pretty quickly. But, you know, we're not going on an adventure. Most of the time, like... And you probably would recognize from watching my content that this is preferable for me. And I mean, I guess it's, you know, I'm my parents' kid, right? At the end of the day, I'm not like... You have to accept that, you know, the way that you were raised also informs the things that you want to do as an adult. So, you know, let's grab this first, because we can actually afford it. You know, when I see my parents, they're like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know, what do you want to do? And they're like, you want to watch a movie? And I'm like, that sounds good. I was talking about Civ 6 with Bear, and he's like, me and my parents, or me and my family are going to play that game together on Monday, because it's a day off. And I was like, dude, that's really cool. I like my situation. His situation sounds cool as well, is what I'm getting at. The family that 4X's together is vexed together, but in a good way. That's not how... The family that plays together stays together would be the easy way, but I don't want to do things the easy way. Give me some trinket access. So the thing with what we got going on here is that I should not reroll, but I'm going to. And this was why. Because if we got some damage out of it, or some HP, I mean to say, if we got some HP out of it, then we can take these deals with the devil. And, I mean, this isn't that bad. We have Lusty Blood along with what we already had to begin with. So, what do I want here? I mean, I would rather get us closer to the Guppy transformation. And to be honest, you know, we could probably afford to take Pentagram as well. But at this point, you know, we're getting a little close to where you could run into some difficult rooms, and we don't really want to throw the whole run away by being an idiot. I think we got the exact proper balance of Zane going on here. Speaking of which, I feel the bite of Civ 6. You know, at this point, I'm hoping the first couple of videos in that series have gone live. You know, it's again, you know, kind of me experimenting with doing some new content and not being afraid like that I'm gonna get backseated on it. Because first off, I actually don't have a problem with backseating to begin with, but secondarily, like, you know, we might see it again on the channel, we might not. Who cares if people are like, you know, well, you should have built Slinger, Scout, Builder, Settler. Instead, you went Monument, Slinger, Builder. Like, yeah, I mean, we all understand at this point. You know, I probably, I guess, should have read the strategy guide before playing, but I also, you know, I like just figuring things out as I go in, even if they're wrong, you know. I don't know. I don't necessarily see the value for me personally in being another person who just replicates the strategy guide and plays optimally. Mostly because I don't have the intellectual capacity to do so. But ignoring that. Fun game, though. I will say, Civ highlights for me, like, if you want to see what a person is really like, play Civilization with them. I always go into every match of Civilization being like, the first civilization that I meet, I'm gonna dominate them. I'm gonna spam archers, chariots, I'm gonna get strategic horses, and I'm going to destroy them. I'm gonna bend them over my knee and spank them until they accept me as their liege. And then when I meet them, you know, Teddy Roosevelt comes out with his freaking pince-nez glasses and goes, "Oh, glory to you, sir. Pleasure to meet you, fine cowboy." And I go, "Oh my God, he's so scary." And then I just end up hitting next turn, next turn, next turn while working towards a totally passive culture victory while Scythia spams 2-for-1 horse archers and takes over the entire map. My cowardice is on full display. Alright, buddy, you know what? Congratulations. You forced me to use 10% of my true power. My man. Please. We've done it. There was no reason for that to take so long. I'm embarrassed with myself. Let's reroll. Why? Let's get the transformations starting to kick here. You know what I mean? Why not? We're in a good spot. I mean, we're in a great spot, moreover. We're basically at the point where it's incredibly difficult for us to lose. The only way we lose is if we somehow reroll ourselves into a run bad enough that it would kill us before we can get another reroll. The odds of that happening are on the low side. Even like this reroll, I would have thought it difficult for us to make a run better than the run that we had. But this one is definitely there. Like, the rate of fire alone is absurd here. And then, you know, you gotta be real careful about number 2, but that's okay. Succubus, of course, is just an incredible item. Even our speed stat is high, but dude, the damage being dealt is nuts. We don't even have to worry about that. Okay. I mean, even this was like a huge statistical increase, except, you know, we dropped Cracked Crown and then it looked a little worse. But I'm really just trying to get me to the Guppy transformation as soon as possible, and unless I see us having like a truly, and this might be it actually, a truly unbelievable run, I'm gonna probably continue to pursue that. I don't know, man, these eyeball tears look pretty funny. We do have Isaac's heart, though. Well, you know what? At the end of the day, we can always just hold, we have 28 damage, good God. We can always just hold a charge, and then if it seems like it's impossible, then we could re-roll in the moment, get us out of the Isaac's Heart situation. It's also very funny to me that, like, Judas's Shadow, or not Judas's Shadow, Little Steven is holding Isaac's Heart, like, you know. It's cute, you know, especially in this post-Valentine's Day world. When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change. Well, we definitely do not want an active item. Yo, tractor beam. Oh, Lord, what have I done? So we're very unlikely to get a deal with the devil, which is actually a bummer because a deal with the devil would be really good for facilitating the guppy transformation. But, I mean, at this point, I don't want to just say, like, well, we have the win anyway, so who cares? But it's not really like that. It's more like, you know, we can get any item from essentially any source. I also just realized that we do have Midas Touch, which, again, just makes everything a little bit easier. So, I'm going to go back on what I said earlier. Let's reroll a little. Okay, it's Beelzebub. Whoa! I know we have the question mark card for more rerolls if you want them, but... I mean, this is one of the most blessed runs I think I've ever had. And by that, all I mean is... every single reroll has pretty much taken us to, you know, an interesting and also powerful run. So I'm having a good time here. The other thing, and you know, it probably doesn't even bear mentioning that much, but like, when you are doing a D4 run, you actually get a huge advantage on your next Eden run because of the fact that you're so freaking likely to get Eden's Blessing. Not guaranteed, admittedly, but very likely. So you're telling me, if you look at our item tracker, you're telling me those top two items are different. I see the difference. I just want to point out that, you know, no wonder I've gotten Scorpio and Aquarius confused. This is like a keep talking and nobody explodes sort of situation. Judgment, question mark card. Toss this bad boy down. Blow him up. No thank you. Give me a question mark card. We got conjoined shower handle. We got immunity to explosions. And then a great Ipecac run. So there's definitely cool beans happening here. I still do not see flies being generated. But, you know, I don't want to be a chooser in this situation. But, you know, here's the thing. There's a corollary. You know the expression, beggars can't be choosers? We're not a beggar in this situation. I mean, we're negotiating from a real position of strength. And if you can afford to be choosy, then you can be a chooser. By definition. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Like, on this run, we got no obligation to just go for the first available synergy that we happen to find. So, we can afford to be a little choosy. Until we can't. Which basically means, you know, as we get closer and closer to the inevitable breakfasting. Pardon me? Oh, that was explosivo. I've done it to myself. And that's what really hurts. I've done it to myself, I do. That's right. I'm a scholar. I listen to Radiohead. I have a 4-year degree. What of it? You ever hear of a little artist called Sufjan Stevens? You've probably never heard of him. Oh, you're a Sufjan Stevens fan? Well, name 2 concept albums based on American states that he's made. Still no guppy? This is a surprise. Yo, what is happening? That's, of course, if you want those 2 albums, you know that it's Come On, Feel the Illinois, and then Why Oh Why Would I Leave Hawaii? Those are both considered, they both got Pitchfork Best New Music when they were released. And a 4.83 out of 5 from Stylus Magazine, rest in peace. Well, this run, it scratches the itch, is interesting and powerful, but I gotta say, I'm feeling the heat of having not become Gupster yet. A little frustrating for me. You know what else I played this weekend? I'm recording this on a Monday. I played a decent amount of Tetris 99, and I have come to accept, still no guppy. I've come to accept Tetris 99 is a very interesting game in the sense that it might be the purest meritocracy in any video game ever. You know, in my opinion. And also, I'm playing it up for a little bit of a joke, but I do kind of believe what I'm about to say. You know, you could be the best player in a game of PUBG. I wouldn't know what that feels like, but a team of people that is demonstrably worse than you can still beat you due to circumstance and context. You know, oh, you know, I was looting and not paying attention. A whole team just happened to walk up from a direction that was unlikely, and they one-tapped me. Oh, a dude who has 12% accuracy managed to just shoot me in the head. You know, it's the first headshot he's ever landed in his career, but what am I supposed to do? You know, he got me. You know, I think it's needlessly reductive to make the argument that, like, well, if you were better than them, that wouldn't have happened. You know, that's not how the real world works, I think, you know? Well, if you were the best player ever, wouldn't you never make a mistake? You know, that might fly with your 9th grade English teacher, but out here in the real world, Tetris is like, I don't think that context and circumstance exists. I consistently, and I mean like 80% of matches, I make the top half of players. Probably in 50% of matches, I make the top 25. So I know, like, compared to the populace that's playing Tetris 99 at large, I'm doing okay. I'm getting, you know, 2 or 3 kills minimum per match, and then, Spider Baby. Spider Baby? I'm getting 2 or 3 kills minimum per match, and then eventually I get targeted by somebody who's better than myself, and they just dump garbage on me. And I'm like, I'm gonna switch to attackers, and I dump garbage on them. And they're just like, haha, you're like a little baby. You made me use 10% of my power. And then, like, my board is getting completely overwhelmed. And their board is, like, right at is at square zero, you know? Because the game's not made in Lua. I really think, like, I've made the top 10 a number of times. You know, without even being that panicked in Tetris 99. I really don't think I will ever win a game. Unless I want to rededicate myself to learning the art of Tetris, which honestly just, it doesn't interest me that much. Having the knowledge interests me. Knowing the costs that it'll take to get the knowledge does not interest me. I would rather get slightly better at Civ right now. Well, we're on the final floor here, and everything should go fine. But, I mean, as good as this run is, we re-rolled some truly incredible runs. I would just love to see I'd love to see the Guppy transformation. I'm assuming we already got Eden's blessing, but you know, one way or the other, life goes on. Dude, where's my Guppy transformation? So, Tech X, I mean, if we wanted to, this is just the easiest win of all time. Tech X, one of the remaining 4 items in Sinvicta's Isaac item tournament, by the way, which means it's in the running. Actually, one of the remaining 8 items, I should say. It's in the running for fan favorite, aka best item in Isaac. I don't disagree. You know, it's got some competition. I think it's going up against Magic Mush. I don't want to, you know, tilt the bracket, but if you give me the choice between Tech X and Magic Mush on a run, I know what I'm taking. I'm not disputing the damage upgrade that one receives from a Magic Mush, but I mean, come on, dude, it's Tech X. It's Tech X. Tech X, Tech X. It's pivotal. It's the tear effect you look for. Faith Hill, anybody? It's called pop music. Look it up, sweetheart. Pop music with a southern twang, aka New Country. I don't want to be back in my day, but I kind of don't understand country music. Now, I'll admit I'm ignorant to it. I understand old country music. I understand Sturgill Simpson, you know? I understand Connor Oberst. What I don't understand is the country music that is just pop music, but also it has like a little steel guitar at the front of it. Like it starts, and then it's just like a top 40 club hit. I sort of don't get it. And I'm not trying to hate on anybody's music taste. All I'm saying is that if you're asking me what the best country song of 2018 is, I'll tell you with no irony. It's, Lord, I don't know what I do. All I do is sit and cry. Oh, Lord, that last gone day, she said goodbye. Well, nobody sugar daddy now. She do me, she do me. Got the kind of love when she call me sweet daddy. And a beautiful dream. Mason Ramsey. Look it up, sweetheart. Well, we got the mulligan at the end. Things went a little fast there. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. And, of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya!